That was pretty selfish and stupid.
All right. All right. For Judging Judy. All right.
The rumors are true. This is the Judging Judy podcast, the only podcast I know of that puts Judge Judy on trial. Now, before we jump into today's episode, I just have to address my long-running, one-sided, and entirely manufactured feud with that other podcast, Smartless. Now, I hear that Jason Bateman, the Smar in Smartless, has a new Netflix series called Black Rabbit. Despite all the bad blood between our two podcasts, I'm happy for Jason. I really am. It's about time he steps out of Will Arnett's shadow on Smartless and steps into Jude Law's shadow on streaming. Great job, Jason.
Best of luck.
Okay, on to today's episode. It's from season 25, and it originally aired September 24th, 2020. Let's check in with Professor Wikipedia to see what else was going on that day. The Thai Ministry of Digital Economy and Society files legal complaints against Facebook and Twitter for ignoring requests to take down content, such as those that criticize the royal family. Now, I'd like to assure the Thai Ministry of Digital Economy and Society that this podcast only criticizes the American royal family. The FDA formally released a statement advising parents and medical practitioners to be aware of the Benadryl challenge's prevalence and its risks. Among its risks are confusion, delirium, organ damage, hyperthermia, and forcing your parents to start a GoFundMe to pay for your funeral. The MTV MIAW Awards Brazil show aired from Estúdios Quanta in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I know I don't have to tell you any of this, but Audio Desculpas by Manu Gavassi won the award for Best Music Video, even though everyone knows that Verdina by Ludmilla was much, much better. Que pena. Nice work today, Professor Wikipedia. And they said you'd never use that degree in couch surfing studies. Now it's time for the horoscope for September 24th, 2020. Let's do it for Geminis. Now, as always, I get my horoscopes from VogueIndia.com, because if the stars were going to reveal their secrets to anyone, it would be the people who also publish articles like How Stanley is Elevating Living Spaces with Modern Furniture Pieces, sponsored by Stanley. Releasing and letting go are going to be important themes for you, Gemini. However, letting go is seldom a one-time process. Think of what's taking place right now as a culmination of the work you've committed yourself to over the past few months. What the cards want you to focus on? Freeing yourself from that burden and lightening up a little bit. What is the one thing that brings you unadulterated joy? Set some time aside for it without bringing guilt into the equation. I hope you heeded these words from 5 years ago, Geminis, and if you aren't a Gemini, I hope you took every word above and did the exact opposite. Finally, let's have a look at the box office for 9/24/20. Number 3 was Infidel, number 2 was The New Mutants, and number 1 was Tenet, which I'm just discovering was not Tenant, but Tenet. I don't want to talk about Jim Evil Caviezel or Christopher Nolan, so let's talk about New Mutants. Starring a who's who of people who are probably famous but who I've never heard of.
Anonymity is a mutant's first defense against the world's hostility.
Including Blue Hunt, Charlie Heaton, and Alice Braga. The movie was pitched as, quote, a The Breakfast Club detention crossed with a One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest institution. Quote, a haunted house movie with a bunch of hormonal teenagers. Perfect, right? People love Molly Ringwald and Michael Anthony Hall. People love Jack Nicholson playing the part of a guy who faked mental illness to avoid jail time for statutory rape only to wind up in a facility where he was tortured by his nurse. Yeah, and add in some mutant powers too, and hormones. What could go wrong? Well, the movie got 37% in Rotten Tomatoes, which means it wasn't as bad as Rambo 3.
Rambo, are you all right?
36%, but not as good as Ernest Saves Christmas, 38%.
Gosh, not again.
So they were going for The Breakfast Cuckoo Nest, but they got Rambo Saves Christmas instead.
And I did what I had to do to win, but somebody wouldn't let us win.
Okay, that's enough. Let's get into this episode's cold open.
Their so-called friend talked a good game.
Yes, but which game? Scrabble? Clue? Yahtzee?
She wanted to buy a bar and she wanted to go in business with us.
Hey, that doesn't sound like a game at all. Though it could be. Like with little tokens and cards and confusing, endless, increasingly opaque instructions. You could call it Settlers of Your Tab.
Then the scam went into overdrive.
He's got nitrous oxide in his blood and a gas tank for a brain.
We were fools for believing her.
Well, hey, I bet Judy's going to appreciate this little bit of self-reflection, honesty, and...
No, you were more than fools.
These fools went into overdrive.
Okay, let's get to the case. Our plaintiffs, Jasmine and Jose Acosta, are suing their, quote, former friend, Ramona Segura, for a whole bunch of stuff.
For a loan, Disneyland tickets, a garage fee, and fraud.
There's a certain incredulity in announcer Jerry Bishop's voice as he reads,
A garage fee.
that betrays the fact that he was 84 years old at the time, that he'd been doing the stupid show for 25 years, and that he doesn't give a crap about your gosh darn garage fees. R.I.P., Jerry. R.I.P.
A garage fee.
Note that we have a full crowd in the studio courtroom, so I'm thinking this was filmed right before COVID hit, or maybe during one of those brief, tragicomic periods when we thought we defeated the virus / were willing to let our grandparents die so that we could be a part of a live studio audience.
What were you thinking? I don't know.
Mr. and Mrs. Acosta, the defendant was a friend of yours.
I forgot what I was going to say here because I am distracted by the face Jose Acosta is making. If you don't want to go to social media to look at it, fine. Here's a description. It looks like someone told Jose that they'd kidnapped his whole family, secreted them away into some kind of bunker, but that they don't want money. They don't want jewels or cars or any kind of traditional normal ransom. No, the look on Jose's face is as if he were just told that the only way he will ever see his family again is if he does the I'm a little teapot dance nude in Times Square on New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest riding on his shoulders. You know what? Just go on YouTube or Instagram or Threads or really most of the oligarchs' cesspools and look at the picture because it is beautiful.
I don't know, man, whatever.
Anyway, the Acostas met Ramona through mutual friends. Plus, she frequents the bar where Jose works. I'm still getting over Jose's face, or at the very least I'm trying to, but no luck so far.
And it is your claim that the defendant scammed you 3 times.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me thrice, Judge Judy. Let's dive into the first scam. Ramona, a Disneyland employee, claimed she could get the Acostas discount tickets for the park. And look, I get it. Again, I don't have the exact date this was recorded, but just looking, let's say early 2020, the average cost of admission for a family of 4, the happiest place on earth, was about $15,320.
At least.
And that doesn't include parking, or the fast lane, or the churros that you know are only cinnamon, dough, and sugar, but they're so good. They're worth $10. They're worth $15 or $20. I'd kill my grandmother for one of those churros, except both of my grandmothers are already dead, but I'd bring back the mean, bitchy one just to kill her again so I could get my hands on one of those churros. Suffice to say, everyone's looking to save on Disneyland tickets. Ramona even claimed that she could get the Acostas a discount on a hotel room. Now, I don't want to jump to any conclusions here, but what exactly did the Acostas think Ramona did at Disney that she could do all of this wheeling and dealing? She, who they describe as a regular at an anonymous bar. Did they think she was Disney CEO? Did they think that when she wasn't nursing Michelobes at the Next Round Bar and Grill off the 5 in Santa Ana?
Get me another beer.
Did they think that she was greenlighting the new Cars movie, where all the cars realize how poorly people have been treating them since day one and they decided to seek revenge, only for Tater to save the day with his down-home attitude and gosh darn refreshing outlook on life?
This ain't gonna be good.
Is that what they thought? Because I've always thought that Bob Iger was a little bit more of a Heineken guy, less of a Michelob drinker. Judy, very kindly, encourages the very nervous Jasmine to speak a little more slowly. I appreciate that she didn't yell or scream or anything like that. And I appreciate that the producers kept it in. And I appreciate it because I am having a lot of trouble following Jasmine while I try to take notes here.
What did you say?
The Acosta's daughter's birthday was coming up, and they were hoping Ramona could work the kind of Disney magic that barflies at Flappy's off the 22 in Garden Grove are known for.
So we talked about it, we discussed it. She, gained our trust.
I wonder if at any point, Ramona gave the Acostas an especially delicious looking apple. Now, I'm not saying she's a witch, and I'm not saying that Jasmine and Jose Acosta are her stepdaughter, Snow White, but look, we know that the Acostas have at least one kid, and there's no telling if she's named, I don't know, Rebecca or Isabel or perhaps maybe Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, or Dopey. Just entertain the thought. Oh, who am I kidding? When was the last time anyone named their kid Rebecca?
Gotta have my bowl, gotta have cereal.
Judy doesn't want to hear about how Ramona gained their trust, though I think it could kind of be interesting.
Just give me the facts, ma'am.
The Acustas gave Ramona $300 up front in cash to reserve their hotel room. They owed another $200 the day of their stay. $500? Where's the discount? Was she telling them she could get them a hotel room for $500? Anaheim is lousy with Courtyards Inn and Staybridge Suites. The best she could do is $500? Where's William Shatner when you need him?
I'm on it.
Yes, no, so it was 300. The day of, we were supposed to give her the remaining 200, but that never happened. We were never taken to Disneyland.
Coming up on Crud 94.3, the new slightly derivative song from Hozier, Never Taken to Disneyland. 94.3, we've got all the hits that sound like artists' other hits all the time. Jasmine says that the trip to Disneyland was canceled. And I don't think she means in the way that either Lucky Louie, starring Louis C.K., or Louis C.K. himself were both canceled.
Well, who canceled it?
The Acostas did, and kind of for weak reasons, or at least confusing ones. According to the Acostas, Ramona gave them an initial date, but then backed out because the park was too busy and, quote, this coronavirus thing that's going around.
I've heard of that.
You're missing me, and you're talking too fast. So you gave her the $300.
Yeah, kudos to Judy for her restraint here, because I don't know what the heck Jasmine is talking about. Her story, it's over here, and then it's over there. It makes about as much sense as a ride on Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. At the very least, with that ride, you know your goal. Help Jessica Rabbit stop the weasels. Sure, the roads are zany, and you never know what's around the next corner in your 360-degree spinning car, but you've got a mission. With Jasmine, I don't know what's what. With all that said, unless Jasmine turns this around, I fear things are about to turn into Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
Because the judge's patience is wearing thin.
She canceled that date, or you canceled that date?
And faster than you can say Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, her patience is gone.
The first date?
Yes.
Who canceled it?
In the end, Jasmine says that Ramona canceled the first attempted date.
On what date did she tell you that it was canceled?
A perfectly reasonable question with a very confusing answer.
So she took the initiative.
She took the initiative? That's a perfectly acceptable opening to a response to an interview question when you're up for a promotion at United Healthcare and you're trying to explain how you took the initiative to explain to the client that sometimes in-network means out-of-network. Sometimes pre-authorized means not pre-authorized, and that sometimes declaring bankruptcy does nothing to free you from medical debt. But she took the initiative is not a good opening to a response to a question about what date something happened.
So she had took the initiative to cancel it because my husband got sick.
Was it motion sickness? Because this ride's got more twists and turns than, okay, let's see, looking at this list here, the Matterhorn. Does that sound right? Let's go with the Matterhorn. More twists and turns than the Matterhorn. So she canceled it because your husband was sick. That kind of feels like you canceled it, right?
So you canceled it.
Right. Now, bear in mind, this is sometime around when the world shut down because of a global epidemic that was responsible for over 7 million confirmed deaths. And Ramona had the good sense to say, hey, Jose's not feeling well. Maybe we should skip Snow White's enchanted wish and avoid the possibility of infecting and killing thousands of people. Ramona shouldn't be a defendant on Judge Judy. She should be on a coin, American currency. They should take Eisenhower off the silver dollar and put Ramona's face on there instead. Ramona may be a barfly, not an ex-president, but she saved untold scores of people from getting COVID on Luigi's rollicking roadsters. Plus, Eisenhower had baggage, coups and stuff. Whereas I don't think Ramona has ever overthrown anyone, not in Iran or Guatemala or anywhere.
So you stop playing with your paper.
Quit playing games with
Your paper. Were you sick?
Yeah,
What was wrong with you?
I had the flu.
On the 8th and 9th of January 2020, on January 8th and 9th, 2020, Now, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, not the CDC, because that is now a website dedicated solely to selling colloidal silver suppositories and uncovering new ways to bring back formerly defeated diseases. According to the NEJM, their first reported case in the US of COVID was January 20th, which means that Jose's flu could have been COVID, which means that Ramona should be on the silver dollar. And that's silver, thankfully, that you don't have to stick up your butt.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
We were
And then
still
she
going.
canceled.
Just a sec. What? You had the flu and you were going to go?
So it's my daughter's
Well,
birthday.
that's pretty selfish of you. And stupid.
Yes, Yes, selfish and stupid. And look, COVID or no COVID, you're setting yourself up for disaster here. If it's Disneyland this year, how do you top that next year and the year after? At some point, you've had your ears enlarged and moved to the top of your head, your eyes widened, your nose turned into a big black circle. You're wearing big yellow shoes and you're wondering if surgically transforming yourself into Mickey Mouse himself will be enough to make your daughter's 8th birthday special.
Mickey.
Just get the kid a coloring book.
That was pretty selfish and stupid. If you have the flu, to go to Disneyland with a whole bunch of other people to give a whole bunch of other people the flu.
Jasmine detours into some story about Ramona coming into a settlement, but Judy is still trying to get some kind of resolution on the whole Disneyland situation.
Did you cancel the 8th on the 8th or the 7th?
No, ma'am.
When did you cancel it?
We didn't cancel. She canceled.
No, you canceled. You may say she canceled. Your husband had the flu. He couldn't go to Disneyland. On what date?
So eventually we do get some clarity. It was about 2 days before they were supposed to go to Disneyland that they canceled.
And that's when she came with she got a settlement for $25 million.
Come again?
No wonder Jasmine was trying to move the discussion along. $25 million? You could buy 2-3 dozen Disneyland churros with that much money. However, even though Ramona was coming into a Richie Rich size settlement for medical malpractice, Jose says she asked him for money to pay her rent. Without it, she would get kicked out of her apartment.
She said due to the IRS auditing her assets were frozen.
Freeze!
According to the Acostas, the IRS freeze even included the money she was actively making at her Disneyland job. Without it, she couldn't pay her $1,500 rent. They say that Ramona asked the Acostas if they knew someone who could front her the $1,500. She said that she doubled their money once her settlement came in.
Here, I want you to have this.
We went to bed. Again, I felt bad. I am a mother of 3. And we spoke and said, let's lend her the money.
Maybe they are nice. Maybe being parents of 3 gave them perspective on Ramona's struggle. But I bet the prospect of doubling their money and being friends with someone coming into $25 million didn't hurt. Ramona confirms for Judy that the Acostas gave her $1,500 for her rent. Now, maybe this is a MacGuffin, but Ramona specifies that her conversations always happened with Jose and not Jasmine. We'll see if that comes into play later. Wait, Jasmine? It is only now that I realize that I have missed any number of references to Aladdin. It would be stupid, incoherent even, of me just to stick in a bunch now to make up for lost time.
Jafar Genie, Arabian Nights, Golden Coffee, Magic Carpet.
That he would help me out.
Good. Did you pay him back?
No.
You owe him $1,500 so far.
Ramona asks to return to the topic of Disney and says that she did offer them an alternative date for the park, which the Acostas accepted, before turning around and canceling because Jasmine wasn't getting her unemployment or disability check and couldn't go.
These were non-refundable tickets.
Ramona provides Judy a copy of a text conversation she and Jose had about the second date, which she then asks the Acostas to confirm is valid.
If you see, there's never a text me saying, yes, we'll take that date.
Unfortunately, Judy mumbles it, so I'm not quite sure if you can hear this. I'm going to have to
Enhance.
I don't care.
So far, we're looking at a split decision. Judy's siding with Ramona on the Disney tickets, the $300, and the Acostas on the $1,500 rent.
She had mentioned to us that she had an abusive boyfriend.
Oof, this is the second case in as many episodes with an abusive boyfriend. If the next case also features a nipple ring wearing karaoke business tycoon, like the second case of the last episode, I'll know I really, truly am in the Matrix.
I know Kung Fu.
Apparently, Ramona told the Acostas, or perhaps just Jose, that she had previously purchased for this now ex-boyfriend a Tesla, perhaps hoping that he would try to use the entirely fictional, very faulty self-driving technology and careen into a wall. But that's just my speculation.
The time that she had told us that she had a settlement of $25 million, she wanted to buy a bar.
I'm beginning to wonder if the IRS maybe was up to something when they were auditing Ramona's finances. Ramona, according to Jasmine, wanted to buy a bar and go in business together with the Acostas. I'm still trying to piece together what, if anything, this has to do with the Tesla.
She had told us that she had came into the $25 million settlement.
You already said that 5 times.
At least.
At some point, the Acostas asked Ramona for $20,000 to help with the home they were trying to buy. That's right, the woman they had previously given $1,500 because she couldn't pay her rent. The woman whose assets were frozen by the IRS. That's not the first person I would go to for $20,000.
For a home. We were in the middle of trying to purchase a home. She said, no, why don't I just buy it for you guys? Buy it, and you guys pay me, since she's getting that settlement.
And all this started because Jose met Ramona at a bar. I understand that people meet their partners, their future spouses at bars, but I have some questions about the wisdom of meeting your future landlord at the Calico Saloon in Buena Park off the 91.
Now your husband is asking her for $20,000. who he's just lent $1,500 to for $20,000 from her settlement.
Exactly.
I'm just including all of this to verify for you, the listener, that even our esteemed judge, she who says shush shush and no, wait a second, she too cannot follow the logic here. The Acostas went so far as to work with their realtor to make this Wonka-esque idea a reality.
You get nothing. You lose.
We went house shopping. We went looking at homes for us. We went looking at homes for her. We were everywhere you could think of looking for homes.
Under the boardwalk?
Everywhere you could think of.
Inside a baby's diaper?
Everywhere you could think of.
On the moon?
Everywhere you could think of.
She did say everywhere. They got so far down this rabbit hole that they started the escrow process on a house.
That's when we started asking her for all her bank statements.
I might have also inquired about some kind of paperwork for that $25 million settlement that everyone seemed to be gambling their future on. Jasmine says that Ramona didn't provide any of the requested paperwork, but at the same time that they also hadn't paid Ramona anything yet. Which in some ways means that, much like Ramona wasted the Acosta's time and the realtor's time with this fantastical house hunt, so too Jasmine has wasted our time, since Judge Judy's not going to rule on something just for being stupid. It has to be stupid and involve money changing hands.
Just a second. You didn't give her any money.
No, I didn't give her any money for that.
So let's move on.
We finally return to the topic of the car. That took longer than it takes me to parallel park. It takes a long time for me to parallel park. I'm not very good at it.
Stated that she had bought her ex-boyfriend a Tesla. She asked us, since we were going to be business partners, if we wanted the vehicle for $500.
Now, let it be said, you can open a bar with someone without first selling them a car for $500. Similarly, you can open a bagel shop with someone without first selling them an iguana for $1,300. And you can open a pizza place with someone without first selling them one of your kidneys for $160. Those are common misconceptions, and I have a duty to dispel them.
A new Tesla.
A new Tesla that she had already gave a down payment. No. And that all we had to pay was a $500 garage fee.
No.
That's not how cars or anything works. Even for soon-to-be settlement millionaires, bar co-owners, moonlighting as Disneyland employees, that's not how it works.
I know. Oh, she sent us photos. She sent us invoices. She sent us
beautiful postcard every day.
They went so far as to go to the Tesla dealership and, despite the overwhelming odor of malfeasance that surrounds the place, test drove the car that Ramona supposedly owned and was gifting them for $500.
I mean, what kind of ridiculousness do you think that you can buy a $100,000 car for $500?
Now I'm going to take a brief detour. Yes, some Teslas are expensive, as much as $114,000 for the Cybertruck, the pride and joy of America's cuckold community. But even in 2025, they also go for $44,000, depending on the model. This idea that Teslas are a luxury car doesn't reflect reality. A person coming into $25 million is going to buy a Lambo or a Bentley, not a Tesla. Just like they're going to go to a real restaurant, not Romano's Macaroni Grill. Just because something tells you it's fancy doesn't mean it is. Sometimes you're eating partially congealed fettuccine Alfredo that's been reheated in a microwave. And sometimes you're driving a Tesla.
So she sent us an invoice that said the vehicle was going to be $64,000.
Okay, so somewhere between Romano's Macaroni Grill and Nobu. What is that, Cheesecake Factory? Sure. This Tesla, it's the Cheesecake Factory of cars. Jasmine starts in on some story about how Ramona paid the down payment and the abusive boyfriend and him cheating on her with her cousin, but
I don't care.
It's not an angry I don't care. We've seen those. This is the I don't care of a woman who would rather be anywhere, even a Romano's Macaroni Grill, instead of hearing Jasmine talk. Romano's Macaroni Grill, when you hear your macaroni.
And who was supposed to pay out the $64,000?
Disney magic, Judy, you idiot. Or maybe the $25 million settlement. Look, $64,000, you're getting caught up on that. You're getting caught up on the details. Didn't you hear they were looking for houses everywhere? Disneyland, sick, initiative.
She had already given a down payment on the car.
How much was the down payment that Ramona supposedly made? $3,500, or in other words, not $64,000. Now, as much fun as it is to make fun of these situations from afar, all of it really reveals something tragically sad about people's understanding of personal finance. More so than anything Ramona did or didn't do, that is the scam. We have a whole lot of people who don't know anything about how money works. Okay, but now Jasmine is saying that Ramona was supposed to pay the rest beyond this nebulous garage fee. Okay, well, at least we're getting somewhere. I have a feeling that it's somewhere no one wants to be, but we're on the way there, and that's what matters most.
So far, she owes you $1,500.
I have.
That's all. I'm not interested.
Jose, you're the plaintiff. It's not a good sign that you're laughing at your own case. I think it means you're going to lose.
$100.
I have.
But at least you're having fun.
I'm not interested. I can't even take you seriously.
Neither can Jose, and he's her husband.
Because I'm an idiot. Happy?
This case feels pretty cleanly wrapped up, except perhaps for some lingering jabs at Jabsman, if you will. But we're going to go to a commercial break anyway.
No, you were more than fools.
We also get a preview of case 2, and I think it's about a wrecked storage unit. Maybe?
Where did you think you were coming today? To the beach?
Maybe.
That would explain the water wings and the beach umbrella and the bathing suit, but it does nothing to explain the backhoe. Coming back from the break, and Judy wants to see proof that the Acostas gave Ramona $1,500, the amount that was supposed to help Ramona cover her rent while her assets were frozen. You remember this, right? You remember that they were also, while all of this was going on, they were also asking her for $20,000, and then they were going house shopping with her. Right, yeah. Totally clear. We're shown a series of text messages indicating that the Acostas are going to take, quote, the little money we have saved to pay Ramona's rent. We also see a reply from Ramona saying that she'd actually pay them back not just twice the amount, but $3,500. And then there's also a text about how the Acostas will have to move to Riverside, but...
Don't do it!
Well, the less said about Riverside, the better. Jasmine's efforts to return to the topic of Tesla are shot down by Judy.
You have to know that either you're getting conned or somebody is stealing something. It's like going up to somebody and say, you want to buy my Rolex? I need money right now. I have to go buy a bowl of soup.
No soup for you.
Yes, but what if they have the invoice for the bowl of soup? And what if they test drove the bowl of soup too?
You think that the courts are going to help you?
Recent events have proven that no, the courts are not going to help any of us.
Fools, you thought you were getting something for nothing.
Well, not something for nothing. Remember, they paid the garage fee, so it's more like getting something for 0.78%. So almost nothing. Judy says Ramona is on the hook for the rent, the $1,500, but nothing else.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. We're done. Thank you very much.
So this is a Ramona win, I think. It's not a knockout. It's not a shutout. But she came out ahead on 2 of the 3 counts and largely avoided the kind of verbal abuse that Jasmine got from Judy. That's a win.
She's a liar. She knows what she's doing. She's a con artist.
Maybe. Very possibly, but Ramona caps off her win with a victory lap, revealing why she thought all of this got so combative to begin with.
Jealous wife. She couldn't handle the fact that her husband and I became really good friends.
Cool.
Now moving on to case number 2.
Donna Patterson is suing her former tenant, Glenda Williams, for rent, a car, the cost of a storage unit, and emotional distress.
That's too much, man.
And here I thought the Acostas were greedy, suing for 3 things. Poor Jerry Bishop needed to take a breather halfway through Donna's list of demands. Our plaintiff owned a piece of property that had both a mobile home and a tiny house on it. She didn't live there, she was renting out both. Things presumably had been going wonderfully in Donna's little fiefdom until...
At some point, the property went into foreclosure.
Yes.
Now they said that the 3 most important words in real estate are location, location, location. I'd just like to add one more. Foreclosure. Because it doesn't matter if you've got the perfect location for your mobile home / tiny house rental kingdom if the bank takes the property away from you. Now, I don't want to mess with a tried and true adage, but maybe it should be location, location, foreclosure, location. Donna, who had only had the property for a year, got it from a friend who themselves could no longer pay for it and so handed it off to Donna. So what you're telling me is that the property is cursed.
Cheapers. Claimed it to
Just
me.
a sec. So you didn't pay for this property that had a house and a trailer on it.
Correct.
However, that property had taxes on it that you didn't pay.
Minor correction, a tiny house. They're hip, they're modern, and you can't stand up straight in one of them unless you max out at 3 foot 4 inches. Donna not only didn't pay for the property, she also didn't pay the taxes on the property. Taxes. Taxes are the curse. We figured it out, Scoob. The defendant, Glenda, was one of 5 people renting in the house. Did I mishear the tiny house part? Let's run that back.
A mobile home and then a tiny house.
And Glenda was one of 5 residents in one of these 2 structures. Donna was running a Lower East Side tenement circa 1904. All she was missing was the ever-present scent of pickles and the ever-present threat of polio. Although, hey, we've only just started this case. Who knows what people were catching before Donna was sussed out for skipping out on her taxes.
At some point, all the electricity was cut off in the house and the trailer.
Electricity? I figured they were still burning blubber in their oil lamps. forced to shovel gruel into their mouths in the dark more often than not. In fact, with the electricity cut, Donna's whole operation was being run by generators. So no, they didn't have to eat their gruel with the odor of whale oil in the air. Of course not. Just diesel, which I've always called the thinking man's whale oil. Again, as a reminder, Donna herself is not a resident of the shuttle that she built on land she got for free that she didn't pay taxes for.
Now, where you live, did you have lights?
Yes.
Glenda enjoys a snorkel, the unholy love child of a snort and a chuckle, at Donna's expense. Lest you think that Donna lives some kind of life of luxury, some sort of sweet life, like the titular characters in some Disney Channel TV show about two boys who live on a cruise ship, Donna did not have heat or air conditioning in her own home. Okay, so that means she could eat her gruel by electric light. In 2022, that's considered middle class. Maybe, depending on if her gruel had high fructose corn syrup, maybe even upper middle class.
In any event, what you say is that she became a squatter and didn't pay you rent.
Correct.
Squatter here not only meaning someone living in a place illegally, but also perhaps literally. As I'm imagining that the 5-person tiny house had no floors, forcing Glenda to squat her way around the place.
I didn't know it was foreclosed in the beginning.
Who cares?
Is anyone surprised that Donna didn't notice the property didn't have electricity, considering she also didn't know she had to pay taxes? Okay, Donna alleges that she was paying a company to keep the property out of foreclosure, so that the rent the serfs paid her were actually going towards the taxes or something.
I only have the name of the company.
I don't care.
Much like Destiny's Child, Judy's going to want to see some bills. You could say it's kind of a bugaboo of hers. You can't just say their name.
So far, we're in a totally unsympathetic position.
That means you're going to lose, Donna. Especially when we learned that Donna had misspoken. It had been 2 years, not just one, that she was behind on taxes.
That's too much, man.
Donna says that her receipts to prove that she was paying both the management company and other bills were in a storage unit, and that's the second part of her case.
There is zero sympathy.
And wearing the judge's robe, hailing from New York, and weighing in at whatever weight she feels comfortable being, Judy, no sympathy, shine lin.
Judy says that even if the storage unit shenanigans are true, Donna ought to have asked for copies of all these bills that she paid for from the companies that she claims she was paying.
Oh, fine. Then you want to come back here when you have all the paperwork? I'll be more than happy to let you go outside. Now you have the name of the company, call them up, fax it here, and you can come back tomorrow. You want to do that? No. Yes or no?
No.
Of course not.
I kind of wish Donna had played Judy's bluff here. There's something going on. 5 people, tiny house, mobile home storage unit, no power. There's some kind of interesting story here that we're never going to hear the end of. But if Donna had said, yeah, I'll come back, and then she used the electricity that she has in her home, with the one with floors and a roof, and she got the paperwork together, then maybe we'd find out what's going on. Instead, we're left with endless speculation, sleepless nights, and gruel. So much gruel. What do you like in your gruel? Let me know in the comments. Lest we think that Glenda's coming out completely on top here, she's countersuing for the use of her generator, which she claims was used so frequently in lieu of real, normal electricity that it broke, a claim that Judy has little interest in entertaining.
Now, you have equally as ridiculous a lawsuit.
Judy dismisses both cases with a goodbye for each of them, despite Donna's desperate pleas.
Your Honor, there's a whole lot more to this.
You should have played her bluff, Donna. Now we've all lost our chance. I want to know more about the gruel. Now I'll never learn more about the gruel.
This isn't fair.
We've heard from Judy, now it's time to hear from me. Well, I guess you've been hearing from me all along. A little bit too much in reality, but now I'm speaking in an official capacity because it's time for me to judge Judy. As always, I'm basing this on a highly unscientific set of criteria, but it all boils down to this. Did Judy do her job? Did she provide justice? Yes. Judy's innocent. Today she did her job. It was a little uneven, but all in all, Judy delivered justice. Here's how I came to that decision. Judy's conduct in case 1 was completely above board. She gave Jasmine chance after chance to compose herself and tell her story. Judy only became impatient when we circled the same block for the 5th or 6th time, and Jasmine still couldn't find a parking spot. Judy heard both sides out and rendered a fair but still entertaining decision. The Acostas might have been scammed out of some money by Ramona. That's a possibility. But it was either their fault with the Disneyland scheduling debacle, or it was while trying to scam somebody else with the almost free car. I feel bad that they lost money in the whole exchange. But the money they lost was in the pursuit of purloined goods. Bad behavior shouldn't be rewarded, and Judy certainly didn't reward them. Now, case 2, I think Judy didn't go far enough. She should have heard Glenda out about her wrecked generator. Glenda was living in what sounds like squalor and shouldn't have had to use her property just to turn the lights on. I don't understand why Judy so quickly dismissed even the idea of some kind of compensation for Glenda. Judy seemed laser focused on Donna's shortcomings, and I side with where she landed on all of Donna's claims. I worry that though Judy blamed Donna for much of what happened, she still considered Glenda a squatter, and so didn't want to give her any kind of payout, even one she might have deserved. With that said, Judy's off the hook for another week. And with that sound, it's time for Hangman. As a reminder, this is Hangman with stakes, not just doodles while you pretend to understand the ramifications of all those student loans you're taking out at 17 that will haunt you for the rest of your life. No, there's something on the line when it comes to Hangman on Judging Judy. This week, it's the gradual creep of PSL season. That's right, if I win, if I guess the Hangman word correctly, PSL season will continue to creep ever earlier in the year. If I lose, PSL season will return to just the day before and after Halloween, the way you miscreants claim to want it. As always, I'm using hangmanwords.com, and this week, for the second week in a row, I'm using their geography word list. I can make 6 incorrect guesses, 6 letters that aren't in the word until I lose. So let's go to hangmanwords.com here. And as always, I understand this is bad for this medium, but I'm okay with that. So we have a hyphenated word. It is 5 letters and then a hyphen and then 3 letters. And remember, this is the geography word list. So it's something geography related. Let's see. I'm going to just start easy with an S. 2 S's. So blank SS, blank blank, hyphen, blank blank blank. C as in Calico Saloon. No. So now we have a head on our Hangman and I have 5 more guesses. Let's try E. No E, so there's a torso. I have 4 more incorrect guesses. Let's try I. There is an I. ISS blank blank hyphen blank blank blank. About N. There is no N, so I only have 3 more incorrect guesses. What about A? No A, so 2 more incorrect guesses. About T. No T. So 1 more incorrect guess. This doesn't bode well at this point for PSL season. Let's try R. Okay, I was wrong. This list is very difficult. The answer was Issyk Cool. ISSYKKUL. Let's just check what Issyk Cool is. Maybe it's a region in Russia. It's a lake in Kyrgyzstan, or the Kyrgyz Republic. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that, and I was wrong. I lost, and now people can only enjoy pumpkin spice latte on October 30th, October 31st, and November 1st. The rest of the year, they'll, drink their own urine. And with that, we have time for just one more bit of chicanery, an out-of-context quote from Judge Judy. You wake up one morning and say, today I'm a cat and I want to pee in kitty litter. Thanks so much for listening. Like, share, and fornicate. And please, whatever you do, don't go to Disneyland with the flu, even if it's your kid's birthday.